I heard the story that one village, like one gentleman is going into the forest and he hears the sound like some sort of noise, something like that. He went near to that, he is curious and he went to near to that thing. And some insects made a hole to the bamboo and through the hole the wind is flowing. So that making noise. So that's fascinated him. And he cut the bamboo and started playing flute. That is how lucky when he visited his village and started putting more holes and making fun of it. Like that, the flute came. My name is Naveen Kumar. I'm an Indian Bansuri player, and Bansuri is my favorite from my childhood. So I started playing in the school with a small Bansuri I had, and by watching that, my headmistress gave me two more flutes. So that's how I started loving my flute. And I'm a self-taught musician. Of course, I did my uh, classical diploma in Carnatic vocalist. So I put all the course in the flute and started playing. And my dad gave me a book called Flute. With that source, like I started uh, learning like how many flutes in the world and how can prepare the flutes and how to improvise on those things. So those are my basic things. And otherwise, I'm a natural flautist. Bansuri has a natural and traditional way of playing. Our traditional music can be played on some of the very important musical instruments. That is one of them is Bansuri. So these are like a very the nouns and the dynamics and the textural thing and pronunciation of the lyrics can be produced on Bansuri. That is how they have manufactured with the bamboo flute, and they have little glides and the semitones and all the sangatis. Like we say sangati and but it is very important to maintain the traditional music playing in the Bansuri, not necessarily playing the straight notes. They've been playing some gamakas on the Bansuri. That gives more enrichment to the Bansuri playing. We have four octaves of flutes, basically. Like if you see the keyboard from the low note to the top one, like that for every tonic note we have a flute. Every sharp note we have a flute. So it depends on like playing the song. It's not necessarily playing in the traditional way. Like we have some our Indian own traditional kind of playing, but it is not necessarily to adopt that fingering. But you can also start from the various fingerings, and according to the tune, like how best you can playable. So that is how it works. So Bansuri is used as an mainstream instrument, solo instrument. At the same time, it can be accompanied to the vocals. And when they're accompanying to the vocalist, the vocal, it depends on the vocalist, like how range he will go accordingly. So Bansuri also can be picked up according to his range and play with it. Like if he sings on top, Bansuri can play low. So that gives that cut through effect. At the same time, if he sings low, Bansuri can play high. So that is how like we fix the various ranges, and we have from low key to, as I said, like a keyboard. We have low C to top C. We have four octaves of different Bansuris. Yeah, Bansuri blowing techniques are very very different than the normal thing. Like it's you have to keep the 90 degrees position and play like in between and smile like that. It's very simple. But to maintain the dynamics of the thing is like we have some several exercises like keeping a ball, a small piece of paper in the roll and put it in the book and make it slide, and no, the ball should not come down. Some kind of exercise we have. So these things makes the more dynamic way to blow, and at the same time, like when I say, just give the whole this thing like that. Only the noise. That's how it is. It's very, very different working with other composers from overseas and Indian composers. The work frame is something very unique, very different. And the music is not a one point way. This is like a whole ocean. So, like I said, like every breath is an expression. Like that, every composer has their own ability of doing their own things. So, working with another composers gives us more kind of understanding and exposure. At the same time, it's mostly a cultural thing. Like if I play in the Hollywood films, mostly I'll do the textural sounds, and Bansuri may not be a main instrument in the Hollywood films. So I can use some duduks and panpipes and uilleann pipes, and I also create some own tones of mine. So I'll put together and give them the different world sound, you know. So that is how. Like if I work with the Asian films, then I have a lot of Asian instruments like pau, saku, and hulsi. Some kind of things are there. So I put together with the bandy flutes and everything. I make sound like Asian sound. In a normal Indian song, I have used Chinese flute, so that it gives a kind of Bansuri style of playing, but it gives a different tonal expression. You know, that is how like we have modulated so many different ways. Every country has their own kind of signature kind of tones. So I have all of them and create music with it. In Indian culture, we are using more Indian nouns and Indian rags and Indian kind of scales. With the foreign music, like if I work with any other composers, it also depends on their own culture and their kind of tradition and their own type of music. Because of that, a musician need to listen the whole range of different various types of music, so he can able to express himself. At the same time, the music library helps a lot nowadays because everybody using the samples. That samples gives an idea of how to produce it tone. Like suppose like one musician comes with one sample and I want, hey, I want like this. Do you have something like that? Then musician will think like, oh, I have something like that and I can make like that. You know, the reflection of the sample, we can able to make a better music every day. Making Indian Bansuri library is something different I am trying this time because I have never tried giving a sample to anyone because I'm a live performer and I would love to come and perform for you. But this one is something different. We are serving with this, we are serving to the world.